Hello, friends. We are back again with yet another video on Hindu Judaic. Today, we will talk about India, US, and CAATSA, the middle path. This video is about all the confusion surrounding CAATSA and the Indo US relationship and how a middle path can be taken. I request you to please subscribe our channel, and if you have already subscribed the channel, please click on the bell icon to get the notification of each video upload from Hindu Judaic. In its endless obsession with bringing the Russian economy to its knees, the United States has deployed its latest weapon, CAATSA, or the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. This allows the US to punish Moscow's military partners on the basis that their business dealings violate American law. As the largest user and buyer of Russian weapons, India is vulnerable to Section 231 of the new law, which imposes sanctions on individuals and countries that deal with Russia's intelligence and defense sectors. Because CAATSA is an American law that prevents global free trade, it is patently illegal and can be challenged. Nevertheless, if enforced, it could choke the supply of weapons from Russia and blow a gaping hole in India's warfighting capability. It will also earn India considerable hostility in Moscow and drive the Russians closer to Pakistan and China, creating a different set of complications. Any American interference in India's fiercely independent defense procurement policies will create a backlash in India and torpedo the growing strategic and defense partnership between New Delhi and Washington. Sanctions under CAATSA would be triggered once Delhi makes a payment for the Russian equipment. The sanctions include blocking of licenses and permissions for a US entity to export a significantly large number of items to India. The restrictions on this front would include any arms sale or the transfer of nuclear equipment or technology. Not even the most optimistic American hawks are expecting India to walk away from Russia immediately. As one of the biggest customers of the Russian armaments industry, India will have tremendous difficulty scaling down its ties with Moscow. More than 70% of the weapons fielded by India's armed forces and 60% of the country's defense imports are of Russian origin. Significant weapons deals such as the $6 billion Sukhoi Super 30 upgrade, the $5.4 billion S-400 deal, highly successful projects such as the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile and secret collaboration in the area of nuclear-powered submarines, miniature nuclear reactors, and aircraft carriers, all point to the deep defense ties between Moscow and New Delhi, dating back over 50 years. The general consensus in the US is that both houses of Congress would have to consider ways to give a waiver to India. The main reason why the US is going easy on India, at least for the moment, is that Washington and New Delhi are in the process of working out multiple nuclear power plants and arms sales projects. Simply put, applying CAATSA against India could put the US foreign policy and defense establishment in a bind and slow down their expanding cooperation with India. In the immediate term, one way to avoid secondary sanctions would be if the US determines that India is reducing its dependence on Russian arms. On paper, at least, it appears so. According to Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, Russian hardware represented 62% of country's total weapons import during the past 5 years, compared with 79% in 2008 to 2012. India may seek an official declaration from the US specifying that anti-Russian measures would not be used against Indian companies. India should enact its own legislation which declares that decisions based on extraterritorial foreign laws that prevent free trade are unlawful and therefore not applicable to it. New Delhi can complain at the WTO and threaten counter sanctions to protect its legitimate interests. India's leverage as the world's second largest weapons importer needs to be communicated clearly to the Americans. CAATSA could be the much needed wake up call India needs to fast track Make in India. For diversification has its limits. Even if India decides to spread its import evenly between Russia, the US, Israel, and Europe, the reality is that all four are interlinked. For instance, Israel is touted as a reliable arms supplier and also a country with shared strategic interests. However, a number of Israeli weapon systems, such as the Green Pine radar, incorporate American technology at some level. This gives the US leverage against Israel, which may be arm twisted to apply sanctions on India. By fast-tracking indigenization, India can ensure self-sufficiency in defense and become immune from sanctions. New geopolitical developments are also in India's favor, with the US creating a new Indian Ocean Pacific Ocean Command to take on China's growing naval power. Washington needs India as a strategic partner. The new command replaces the Pacific Command, indicating the importance of having a larger US naval presence in the Indian Ocean. While Japan and Australia are the linchpins of the American plan to contain China in the Pacific, in the Indian Ocean, it is the India that is the key to cornering the dragon. New Delhi should use this leverage to squeeze all the waivers it can to nullify CAATSA. If India plays its cards right, America's brand new weapon could simply fizzle out. Friends, hope you liked the video. Please subscribe us for more such videos. Thank you.